Me. Oh Lord. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Humble Warrior back with you guys with another video. So today, Teron Armstead did a sit down with Jalen Waddle. It went over, it's actually an interview that he did with Jalen Waddle today, talking about Alabama, who do you think was the best receiver, his relationship with Tua, who will win in a one-on-one battle between him and H-Han. It was a variety. It was a good variety type interview where he asked him a barrage of questions and he allowed Jalen Waddle to go into depth about certain things. But what I wanted to highlight in the interview was the relationship with Tua Tagovailoa that Jalen Waddle has. He didn't go into specifics. He said that him and Tua are, they're still good, they're still tight, they talk all the time. He did mention that, in case anything did go down, then, Tua, has his number and he can always call and vent to him and stuff like that. But I highlighted that point to say that, people that are talking about the cuts and stuff that are going on with different teammates, and Waddle is not one of those people he's not going to get cut or removed from the Dolphins, and people are advocating for Tua to get cut, to get traded or whatever. Doesn't look like that's going to happen based on the budget and based on his salary cap hit. But if Waddle had an issue with Tua, then that would be the perfect time to air that out. He doesn't have an issue with Tua, which is why I applaud Teron Armstead for bringing him on the platform to get that explanation. Now, the interview I really want to see is Tyreek Hill. I want him to bring him on so Tyreek can give his point of view, talk about the last 4 seasons that he had with Tua Tagovailoa, talk about last season in 2024, the way the Dolphins did laps down the stretch, and talk about 2023, his feelings on it. That's what I really want to see. But I do appreciate Waddle for giving his in-depth explanation as to how their relationship is, because I know a lot of people want him to bash Tua and say, well, he sucks as a quarterback and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, the dude doesn't suck. But I also was watching the Rich Eisen show, and he mentioned that, a guy that kind of bounced around the league but finally found what? School bus? Yes, school bus. A guy that bounced around the league and found success eventually was Sam Darnold. For me, Sam Darnold's not the only one. Baker Mayfield comes to mind. Who else? Currently, it's not a lot of other guys that bounced around the league that have success. But those two names are very fluent. Brett Favre was another guy that went to another team and had great success. I guess you could say Aaron Rodgers, he had success in Pittsburgh because they did make the playoffs, but they got eliminated wild card round. But that was successful because a lot of people didn't see Pittsburgh doing a lot, and they had to be real with themselves about about Aaron Rodgers' age and stuff like that. But let me not get sidetracked. The point of the video is, I still think Tua's going to be with the Dolphins. It's going to be very hard. Even though Jeff Hafley doesn't know him, I think Jeff Hafley is willing to see what he has in Tua. But they have got to allow that man to go back to training with Nick. They have got to do it. The Dolphins cannot be asses about who he trains with, because everybody see the clear difference in performance when he is training with the company performance versus when he wasn't. There's a clear difference in how he played. He had a lot more agility, mobility with his body, with the way he threw the ball, with the way he was moving around the pocket, versus last season when he was a little dinosaur at times. He was stiff. So I would suggest the Dolphins allow this man to go back to train with Nick, who put him in a position to where he looked like he was an MVP caliber player. I want him to go back to being that. But I'm also curious to see how they build his roster, since everybody feels it's a rebuild year. It is a rebuild to a degree. I will acknowledge that. But like I told somebody else on Twitter, I don't think they're going to just win 4 games this year. I really don't think it's going to happen. because they already said the Dolphins are going to be slated with one of the easiest schedules in the league. It's hard to win 4 games. We got an easy schedule, meaning it's hard for you to fuck that up. I mean, it's really hard for you to do that. It may be a situation where the Dolphins can rack off 10, 11 wins and they'll be in a prime playoff position. Now, does that mean they're going to advance far into the playoffs? Probably not. But that would be deemed a very successful season with the first-year coach coming into his rookie campaign as a coach. That would be highly, highly successful. But very, very great video by Waddle and Armstead. And thank you for allowing him to get on your platform and speak his piece, allowing him to be upfront about his relationship with Tua and the other guys on the team, and giving his insight as to, you know, what he has planned for the off season and how he plans to get better for the 2026 season. Definitely a great interview. I enjoyed it, and I appreciated what Armstead did. But with that, guys, I gotta go because heading to Chick-fil-A with my son back here, and yeah, you know how that gets. So, peace.